If you are listening to this right now, I want you to pause for a moment, not to analyze, not to think, just to breathe. You may have clicked on this video because something in your heart feels heavy, or maybe because everything feels quiet and you are not sure what that quiet means. There are moments in life when silence feels more confusing than pain. Pain at least has a shape. Pain explains itself. But silence leaves space for questions. You pray and nothing seems to happen. You wait and nothing seems to move. You believe, yet answers do not come the way you expected. And slowly, without realizing it, doubt begins to speak. It whispers that maybe God is distant, that maybe He is no longer listening, that maybe you have been forgotten. But silence does not mean absence, and waiting does not mean rejection. Some of the most meaningful work God does in our lives happens quietly, not in moments of clarity, not in moments of certainty, but in moments where faith has no proof to lean on. If your heart feels tired today, that does not make you weak. It makes you human. If your faith feels stretched, that does not mean it is failing. It means it is growing. God does not rush. He does not panic. He does not react the way we do. What feels slow to you is never slow to Him. What feels delayed to you is never forgotten by Him. Right now, you may be standing in a season where nothing is clear, where answers feel far away, where hope feels quieter than it used to. And yet, even here, God is present, not because you feel Him, not because you see Him working, but because His presence does not depend on your perception. This moment of silence is not empty. It is not wasted. It is not meaningless. It is a space where trust is formed, where surrender grows, where faith becomes deeper than understanding. So before we go any further, let this truth settle gently into your heart. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And this silence is not the end of your story. And as those words settle, there is nothing else you need to do right now. You do not need to move forward yet. You do not need to search for answers. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. This moment is not asking you for effort. It is asking you for presence. There are parts of your life that feel unfinished, questions that remain open, situations that seem suspended in time. And it is natural to want resolution, clarity, direction. But some seasons are not meant to be solved. They are meant to be lived. You may feel like you are standing in the middle of something without knowing where it leads. And that uncertainty can be uncomfortable. It can make you feel restless. It can make you doubt yourself. Yet uncertainty does not mean you are lost. It means you are trusting without full visibility. There is a quiet courage in staying present when the future is unclear. A strength that does not come from confidence, but from surrender. A kind of faith that does not demand answers, but remains open. You have carried expectations for a long time, some placed on you by others, some placed on you by yourself. And in the silence, those expectations can feel heavier than ever. But you were never meant to carry everything alone. God does not measure your faith by how productive you are. He does not evaluate your worth by how quickly you move forward. He is not disappointed when you slow down. In fact, sometimes slowing down is exactly what allows healing to begin. There are emotions you have not fully felt yet because you were too busy surviving. There are thoughts you pushed aside because you did not have the space to face them. And now, in this quieter season, they are coming back gently, asking to be acknowledged, not to overwhelm you, but to be released. You are allowed to feel what you feel without judging yourself for it. You are allowed to admit that you do not have everything figured out. You are allowed to rest in the middle of the unknown. Faith does not require certainty. It requires honesty. God is not waiting for you to become stronger before He meets you. He meets you as you are, tired, unsure, quiet. There is no rush in His presence, no pressure to perform, no timeline you must meet. What feels like stillness in your life is not inactivity. It is preparation happening beneath the surface. Just like roots grow quietly before a tree rises, just like foundations are laid before a building stands, much of what matters most happens out of sight. You may not see progress yet, but that does not mean growth is not occurring. You may not feel change yet, but that does not mean transformation is absent. God often works in layers, slowly, patiently, with care. Some changes require time because they involve your heart, not just your circumstances. Some answers take longer because they are meant to last. If God removed every discomfort too quickly, you would never discover how resilient you were becoming. If He resolved every question immediately, you would never learn to trust beyond understanding. This season is teaching you something important, even if you cannot name it yet. It is teaching you how to stay grounded when everything feels uncertain, how to breathe when clarity is missing, how to trust without evidence. You are not behind in life. You are not late. You are not failing. You are exactly where you need to be to grow into what is coming next. Even now, your faith is being strengthened in ways you cannot yet measure. Your patience is deepening. Your perspective is shifting. Your heart is becoming more open. These changes are subtle, but they are real. You do not need to force yourself to feel hopeful right now. Hope will return in its own time. For now, peace is enough. Rest is enough. Presence is enough. God is not absent from this quiet place. He is fully here. He is walking with you through the uncertainty. He is holding what you cannot control. He is guiding you even when the path feels unclear. You are not waiting without purpose. You are not trusting without meaning. And you are not alone in this process. Let this moment remain gentle. Let the quiet do its work. Let trust grow slowly, without pressure. There will be a time for movement, a time for clarity, a time for answers. But right now, this stillness is enough, and God is with you in it. And as you remain here, without rushing to the next thought, allow yourself to notice how stillness feels in your body. Not as emptiness, but as space. Space where pressure loosens, space where fear softens, space where you no longer have to carry everything at once. You have been living with weight for longer than you realize. Not always visible weight, but emotional weight, mental weight, the kind that accumulates quietly over time, responsibilities that never fully leave your thoughts, decisions that feel unfinished, questions that linger without answers, and expectations that sit silently on your shoulders. You have learned how to function while carrying all of this, how to move forward even when your heart feels tired, how to stay composed even when you feel uncertain inside. And yet, beneath all of that effort, there has always been a deeper longing. A longing for rest, for reassurance, for a sense of peace that does not depend on circumstances. That longing is not weakness, it is awareness. It is your soul recognizing what it needs. God does not dismiss that need. He does not minimize it. He does not expect you to silence it. He meets you in it. You do not have to arrive at peace on your own. Peace is something you receive, not something you force. There are moments when life teaches us to survive, and then there are moments when God invites us to slow down and truly live. This is one of those moments. Nothing is being demanded from you right now. No decision, no solution, no immediate clarity, only presence. The quiet you are experiencing is not something to escape. It is something to allow, because within it, something gentle is taking place. Your heart is learning how to rest without guilt. Your mind is learning how to release control. Your faith is learning how to trust without constant reassurance. These lessons do not arrive loudly. They arrive slowly, patiently, almost unnoticed, and that is why they last. You may still have unanswered questions when this moment ends. You may still face uncertainty tomorrow, but you will not face it the same way, because something inside you is shifting, something subtle but real. You are becoming more grounded, more centered, less reactive to fear, less dependent on immediate answers. This is growth, not the kind that impresses others, but the kind that strengthens you from within. God often prepares us internally long before anything changes externally, because external change without internal readiness can overwhelm the soul. So he works quietly, carefully, with intention. If you could see what is forming beneath the surface of your life, you would not rush this season. You would protect it. You would honor it. Every moment of waiting is shaping your ability to receive what is coming next. Every pause is increasing your capacity for peace. Every silent prayer is deepening your connection with God. Nothing is being wasted. Even the days that feel unproductive, even the moments that feel uncertain, even the silence that feels uncomfortable. God is present in all of it, not distant, not distracted, not withholding, present. You do not need to earn his closeness. You do not need to prove your faith. You do not need to have everything figured out. You are already held. As you listen, allow your breathing to remain slow and natural. Allow your thoughts to settle where they are. There is no need to push them away. Peace does not come from eliminating uncertainty. Peace comes from knowing you are not alone within it, and you are not. God walks with you through unanswered questions, through unfinished chapters, through seasons that feel unclear. He does not rush you toward the future. He stays with you in the present, and in this presence, something sacred is happening. Trust is being strengthened. Fear is loosening its grip. Rest is becoming possible again. You may not notice it immediately, but later you will look back and realize that this quiet season changed you. It taught you how to remain steady without certainty, how to rest without guilt, how to trust without control. These are not small things. They are foundational, and foundations are built slowly. As this message begins to come to a close, do not rush away from the calm you feel. Carry it gently with you. Return to it whenever the noise of life grows loud again. This peace is available to you more often than you realize. You simply have to allow it. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. And you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be right now. And God is with you in this moment, fully present, fully aware, fully faithful.